What is this free VTT, I hear you ask? Well, there's a couple of options out there already, my favourite being Owlbear Rodeo, which I use for my campaigns, and other dungeon tubers who have done excellent jobs detailing their functionality and benefits. However, this video is not about what's already out there, but how to create your own VTT with Google Slides. Yes, it sounds odd, but I discovered how to create this through trial and error. It started when I was transitioning my D&D group from a whiteboard map to use Google Sheets for that old school grid layout. It was a little problematic, so after that session I started seriously considering trying an already established VTT. That's when my DIY mentality kicked in again, and I thought I could do this with Google Slides. And it turned out okay. In this video, I'll show you what I did. But first, to put things into perspective, the free version of Roll20 gives you 100 megabytes of storage. Owlbear Rodeo gives you 200 megabytes. Love you, Owlbear. But a Google account gives you 15 gigabytes. Think of all those maps and unlimited tokens you can either find on, well, Google, or create with an online AI app. I personally use Midjourney, but there are plenty out there. So the first thing we want to do is create a new slide in Google Drive. Delete the text fields. Now we want to resize the slide to the dimensions of the map image we will be using. Like I mentioned before, I use Incarnate to create my maps, but you can download any map from the internet if you don't have time or the patience to create one. Side note, if you find a map that doesn't have a grid, you can easily add one by using Photo Multi-Tool. The link's in the description below. For this example, I'm going to use this farm one, which was the first battle map I ever created. To resize the slide, go to File, Page Setup, Custom, Pixels, and enter the dimensions of the image. And finally, we want to import the map as a background. To do this, simply right-click on the slide, then go to Change Background, choose Image, and either drag the map from your computer into the upload window, click on the Browse button to find the image, or select Google Drive at the top here, if you've saved your assets in a Google folder. Voila, a battle map. Now we want to do my favorite part, creating tokens. The site I use to turn my art into tokens is Roll Advantage's token stamp, details in the descriptions below. It's simple. You drag and drop an image into the web app, resize and position it, and you're done. You can also change the border, my go-to is the gold one, its color, the background color, and text. When you're using an established VTT, you don't need to have text on the token, as you can add it within the web app. However, when using slides, this function does come in handy. That being said, you can add a text box and group it with the token in slides, but resizing the token will warp the group text box, so I'd do the names in token stamp if you want to do names. To import a token, simply go to Insert, Image, Upload from Computer, or Google Drive. After that, click on the token and go to Format, Format Options. Under Size and Rotation, check the Lock Aspect Ratio. This will protect the token from being distorted when you move it. Then you can resize the token to fit the grid on your map. Another cool little trick to change the token's direction is hover over the arrow on one side and drag the arrow across the token to the opposite side. Oh, and you can also add hyperlinks to tokens, which is awesome. I did this with monsters, linking their stat blocks so my players can see. Yes, I metagame with monster stats. Once you've done all that, it's time to invite people to join the map. To do this, go to File, Share, Share with Others, and add your players' email addresses, or copy the link and send it to them in an instant message. When you invite someone via email, you can choose 3 permission levels. Viewer, you can see but not edit. Commenter, you can leave comments but not edit. Or editor, you can move tokens but also able to do things you probably don't want them to do, like add their own images, delete your fog of war, etc. I would only give my players editor if I truly trusted them and or wasn't using fog of war. Alternatively, you can have them set as viewers and have them tell you where they wish to move their tokens. Speaking of fog of war, to create this in slides, you must go to the master slide to create black objects over the areas you want invisible from the players. Otherwise, if you create the shapes on the map itself, the players will be able to select and delete the fog as they move their tokens about. First, you go to Slides, Edit Theme, and then you want to select the theme page on the left-hand side, the top slide. Delete all the text from it, right-click on the page and select Change Background, like you did when you created the map, and import the same map image as before. Now, whatever changes you make to this theme page will reflect uneditable on the map slide that your players are sitting on. When you create the fog here, you will have to delete it on this page to remove it from the map. To create the fog itself, select the shapes and choose the square. Then click on the paint bucket and select black. Now you can black out areas to the players. There is still a problem with fog of war in slides. If you give a player editor access so they can move their tokens, they can technically go into theme and remove the fog. Unfortunately, there is no way to lock access to the master slide from editors. So you either trust your players, hope they don't know how to get to the master slide, change their player's access level from viewer to editor and back to viewer after their turn, or you could just control all the tokens in an explorative battle map. You can also have unlimited maps or scenes by right-clicking in the list of the slides and click on the plus new slide option. To hide this slide from the players, simply right-click on the slide and select Skip Slide, which will give the slide an icon of an eye with a line through it. The players can click on it, but they won't be able to see the content. Then, when you want to move them to the next battle map, simply right-click on the slide and select Unskip Slide. Now, the only problem with this is that the new slides, if you use the theme for Fog of War, will have the same Fog of War on those slides. So there is still a lot to think about using slides as an option for your VTT. And that's how you create a VTT for free, with more storage space than any of the other competitors. There were a few little issues there to iron out, and maybe in time Google will make changes that will make it a little bit easier for us DMs.